What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to Collectors Gone Digital. My name is Josh, and on today's episode, it is going to be a two-parter. So we're going to start the video off talking about Christian Louis and their collab with Marvel and VeVe. And then we're going to move over into Ron English, who, for those who did not hear, has been confirmed to have the first VeVeVerse city, as well as the first VeVeVerse game. So if you guys are interested, make sure to stay tuned. We discuss all that in this episode. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So I'm going to be referring to the company as Christian Louis. I am terrible at pronouncing this last name. But for those who don't know the man, he is a highly acclaimed French luxury footwear and fashion designer. And he's best known for his signature red sole shoes, which you guys see on the right hand side. Now his shoes are often seen as a status symbol, and they continue to be highly sought after by fashion conscious consumers around the world. Before we move on to the rest of the video, I do want to be clear that this is a separate company from Louis Vuitton though, because I was actually somebody who used to get these companies quite confused. Because they're both in the fashion industry and they do have similar sounding names, people do often get these companies mixed up. But just to be clear, they are separate entities. Now, before we move into the collaboration that they're doing with Marvel and VeVe, I thought I'd discuss a former collaboration they've actually done with the company because it is not their first. So back in 2012, the two companies actually created a line of shoes inspired after female comic book characters. Some of those characters are going to be on the right-hand side. So we have Wonder Woman, Black Widow, and Storm. And the collection was designed to coincide with the release of the Amazing Spider-Man film. So this was over 10 years ago, but you fast forward to today, and this new collab that they're doing with CL shows their intention to enter the digital space. This is not the first designer brand to do it. We've seen it already happen with Givenchy, Louis Vuitton, and Gucci, and now we see Christian Louis following the same path. Now, with regards to their Marvel collaboration, they say that in a monumentous celebration of Disney's iconic 100-year legacy, Marvel and Christian Louis have joined forces under the banner of Disney 100. So on the right-hand side is going to be a comic they've issued through this collaboration, with an example of one of the handbags they released in the collection as well. Now, the full collection consists of 27 items, all of which showcase Marvel's Infinity Stones. And if you happen to grab any item in the collection, it is going to grant you access to a free digital collectible over on VeVe, and that is going to be the Sea Warrior. So before we discuss the two pieces provided through VeVe, I thought we walk through the actual collection on Christian Louis' website. And I gotta be honest, this is some pretty interesting stuff. Definitely not my cup of tea, but it is for somebody else. We're gonna have hats, we're gonna have some shoes, handbags, and shoes being the main thing that they're obviously known for. So why don't we walk through some of these items, and we'll move over into the two that VeVe are offering. Infinity Sandals. And at the bottom right here, you'll see gift with the purchase, and that is going to be the digital collectible on VeVe right there. Unfortunately, I have noticed that in all the descriptions, though, they do not mention VeVe. It's only Marvel. Marvel X Christian, Marvel X Christian, Marvel X Christian. But regardless, they got the photo. But these sandals are going to be going for just a measly $2,000. That's all. Jeez. So this is going to be one of the versions of the physical Sea Warrior sandals. As you can see, a completely different color, but it is going to be the same design offered on VeVe. Just an extra $1,500 for those. The prices just keep going up and up and up. We're up to $4,000 now. Jeez. Cosmic Ulta boots. These remind me of like Captain America. Oh. Worthy of Captain Marvel himself, the thigh-high Cosmic Ulta boots is a symbol of female empowerment and stands on a 100mm heel embellished with 5 different types of hand-applied spikes and multicolored strass of 14 colors. Who would have thought? What I want to know is, where do you get that comic book? They say an exceptional collaboration, which unveils a captivating array of limited edition shoes and accessories for men, women, and children, showcases Christian Louis' craftsmanship, and Marvel's epic brand of storytelling like never before. So as I mentioned, if you do pick up any item in that collection we just walked through, you are going to qualify for a Sea Warrior digital collectible on VeVe. So the Sea Warrior serves as an emblem of distinction available to those who possess a product from this collaboration, but the Sea Queen is a limited treasure exclusively available to those who have attended the launch events. I don't actually know if the launch events have happened already, but the Sea Warrior is going to have 6,190 editions. The Sea Queen, only 2,090. But if I'm honest, those edition sizes seem quite high. My question there is, are they selling 6,190 physical shoes? Or have they upped the edition size to compensate for some sort of drop that they're actually going to be doing in the future for whatever editions don't sell or something like that? I don't know. I just don't see anywhere near that number being redeemed. And then with regards to the Sea Queen collectible, I have a feeling that that edition size is going to be much lower in terms of the numbers that are actually redeemed as well. 2,090 people who have each individually attended the launch event, who are each individually going to claim the promo code as well. I just don't see it. So I'm going to keep my eyes on the edition sizes because I'm quite intrigued to see what happens with these. Now this drop is going to mark another company collaboration with Marvel, and we did just hear the one with Funko get announced. Now up until this point, we know that VeVe has been working quite close with Marvel, especially when it comes to comics. But Marvel and VeVe's partnership seems to only be getting stronger. And, you know, I was talking about this on the VeVe live stream last week. I would not be surprised if a company like Funko or a company like Marvel is responsible for a lot of the partnerships that VeVe has been able to sign. So if we use Funko as an example, right? That photo of David holding his own Funko Pop came out like roughly a year ago, over that. That is a company I'd argue they were probably in discussions with for a very long time. And it was probably something that Funko was quite strict with in terms of when they were able to announce the actual partnership. So I say that because I would not be surprised if VeVe has been talking with Funko for a number of years. And on top of that, as a result, I would not be surprised if Funko introduced VeVe to many of these licenses. Maybe not many, but Funko has an insane network. Keeping in mind that Funko also has partnerships with companies like Disney and Marvel. Now, speaking of Marvel, the reason why I pointed out that Marvel has had a former collab with Christian Louis is because this isn't the first time they've worked together, and so I would not be surprised if Christian Louis was introduced to VeVe through Marvel. David comes from this space. He owns a retail shop over in New Zealand that's been successful for a number of years. We know that David has relationships with these big retailers. Hasbro is another one. So David, having developed a relationship with a company like Funko, who I'm sure he sells in his store in New Zealand, that is definitely a relationship that he could have had that has helped him form new ones with VeVe. Now we're going to move over into some raw English content here. And that is because in the past couple of weeks, it has been confirmed that he has the first VeVeVerse city. And he says he's been developing a project for VeVe with over 100 characters. So he says there's written songs for these characters. There's going to be different houses, different religions, politics, cars, trains, and planes that he's all created. And the past few years have been to prepare for the VeVeVerse. Now his most recent drop on the app was going to be the Mogul Grin series. And right prior to that series dropping, VeVe did release a promo video showing a Mogul Grin around a Monopoly board. That was a little preview into Ron's first game. So the first game in the VeVeVerse by a licensor has been confirmed to be called Mogul Grin. This game is going to be a parody of Monopoly, but each space, house, and car are going to be uniquely designed by Ron. Now, I'm not quite sure if all the characters he's released on the platform up until this point are supposed to be part of this Delusionville, or if it's just the Mogul Grin series. But what's awesome about this news is that in the future, we can now expect structures and vehicles from Ron. What I also think is quite exciting about this is that it really confirms your flexibility with scripting. That's the only way that I can see this working smoothly, right? Like, there needs to be ways to track money. There needs to be ways to track, land ownership. How many buildings do you have here? What rent does the person owe as a result for landing on the space? And so I'm very intrigued to see how they're going to make this work because there's a lot of moving parts. Once we get a glimpse of how this game works, I do think it's going to give us a much better idea in terms of our flexibility with creating other games. What I also think is very neat about this is that VeVe is starting with one of their artists. We already know that they have a Marvel showroom. So this is just a glimpse. This is the very, very, very beginning of how VeVe can take it a step further with each and every one of the licensors they already have on the platform, let alone anyone they have yet to announce. It's not a, hey, we're working with this company and we're going to drop collectibles on the platform for you to buy. It's much, much more than that. Companies can drop stuff on this platform, but have a completely different ulterior motive behind the piece. We could be buying it because we like it without knowing that there's an actual function or purpose behind it. Marvel Mighties. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude today's episode of Collectors Gone Digital. I hope you enjoyed. We started the episode off talking about Christian Louis' collab with Marvel and VeVe, and we rounded things off talking about Ron's VeVeVerse city, as well as game called Delusionville and Mogul Grin. Now, speaking of the Mogul Grin series, I understand those collectibles earn you tickets to the Times Square event that VeVe's running with Funko. I'm very intrigued to see what that is going to be about, but regardless, it's in Times Square. So there's going to be a lot of eyes, and Funko is a company that a lot of eyes have seen before. So any speculation with regards to what that event could be, let me know in the comments section down below. I'm curious to see how you guys are thinking. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. And as for our next, I'll catch you then.